So Ibushi and Marufuji.
Ibushi Marufuji, it was interesting because it was easy to say, "Oh, what a horrible, terrible match that was," And most people I spoke with right after the match, Japanese or Americans, go, "Oh, that was a worst match I've ever seen." It's like the bad match, this, that. It's like, it is easy to say it was bad match when you are expecting video game Ibushi against video game Marufuji. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that's more like not a casual, but like more intermediate wrestling level, intermediate level fans that you
Mhm.
expect, same content and same like character and what you expect you will be able to see, what Ibushi does and what Marufuji does, and you were expecting a certain body movements like a video game, like then it was the night that the Ibushi, well, for that matter, Marufuji, showed us that they were human.
Mhm.
Yeah, that it's easy to say that it wasn't best textbook Ibushi match. Neither was the textbook Marufuji match. But Marufuji 44, Ibushi, he looks young, but 41, you know? And right, physically, it was not what you basically expected, but it was very important for us to learn that it was important for each guy's career. That back in 2009, they were gonna have first single match, and one of them got injured and postponed. And 2011, they were gonna have very this dream match, single match again, and one of them got injured, postponed again. So it was like 14 years in making, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, like I said, Marufuji turned 44, Ibushi 41, and all injured and banged up too. And Ibushi gave us a good hint right at the beginning of the match. It's hard at the building, but in your Abema TV, monitor,
Mhm.
like close up shot of Ibushi, he's like, he had this tear. It's like,
Mhm.
I wanted to, he wanted this match to happen.
Mhm.
And also, this not video game textbook Ibushi that he stood there, not moving. And then all of a sudden, this tear came down. It's like, so we have to really read it or go through his mind.
Mhm.
He's so happy to have this match finally take place, or that he is the one, he's the first one to admit it's not your textbook Ibushi physics anymore. Yeah,
Mhm.
he just knew that. But he was able to carry this match, meaningful match, as much as he could. Of course, physically, he's not in 100%, and he missed a lot of signature spot too. If you remember that sweep and go into your moonsault, that he messed that up. And there's another spot where you stand on the second rope, the guys on the apron, you pull up and do the super German suplex, stuff like that.
Mhm.
That he messed that up, and he jumped on the second rope. He couldn't even do it. And there's a few spots that's like evidently that right, he's not what he used to be. And either was Marufuji, but they had this very meaningful 30-minute match. Yeah. And it was interesting that I thought you were gonna say, no, that was a bad match, but just didn't think it was a bad match. Is
Well, the one big point of the match is that Ibushi had two broken ankles
Yeah.
before, so that's going to affect. I mean, if that's taken into account, and then you watch the match, I think that plus the idea that match was all about subtext. That wasn't like you said, the video game flashy.
Marufuji.
It, it,
Yeah.
it was they. I think people expected them to play the hits, play their hits.
Yeah, and then they do
Marufuji
outrageous arrow maneuvers.
or version of it or something like that. They wanted fireworks, and they got more of a story, and
Hmm.
people were disappointed because, like you said, their expectations, but also it turned ugly so quickly, especially on the internet, that it became
That's what I'm
the,
talking about.
the general opinion before even people, I think, even saw it, or they maybe, I don't know what they saw. Everyone is chiming in on the same activity or event, but they all saw different pieces of it, or they're just glomming onto another
It really
popular
showed
opinion.
them where they are, though.
Yeah,
How they understand wrestling.
very much
W-
so. It
Yeah.
exposed a
What?
lot of people for sure,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it also it speaks to how differently the Western audience interprets certain aspects of
Japanese fans too. A lot
same,
of
yes,
Japanese
and vice
fans were
versa. Yeah,
saying the same thing right away. It's like, oh, that was a horrible match. Oh, that was the worst match I've seen live. It's like easy to say that it was a bad match if you see just, I mean, in general
sure.
surface.
Honestly, if people think that, if they truly believe that is terrible wrestling,
Matt, yeah.
I mean, okay, these two guys,
What's good?
with
Yeah.
30 minutes, broken ankles, and you're still saying, and we all watched and we all know that it's not as bad as everybody said. And bad is considering the context, especially, it's a really, really silly thing to say. I think people like to sound cool and smart and present themselves online like that. It's just how it is, every culture. But like I was saying, it's just Ibushi is also some kind of magnet type of character because he attracts a lot of people that want. There's something that people have out for him. They have a hard on for Ibushi. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with these types of fans that are really, really kind of almost obsessed with their feelings, their negative feelings about Ibushi. And I think that overshadowed the actual match.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Mm,
probably partially because Ibushi was the type of wrestler up to this point that
sure.
never showed emotion.
Partly, yeah.
The perfect video game Ibushi wrestling, right?
Mm-mm.
Perfect move, outrageous spinning and rolling, and I mean things that you can
Creative
imagine. Yeah,
aerial
yeah,
wrestling and
yeah.
kickboxing and what he does best. We all know him for.
I mean, it looks like a video game.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean
Yeah,
he has his own
perfect.
style of
Yeah.
wrestling that he presents. It's
Hmm.
his Ibushi style.
Hmm.
It takes
Sure.
from a lot of different styles, but yeah, it's something that's not the usual type of wrestling. It's Ibushi style. And what we got was more I guess conservative version of Ibushi. It wasn't that
Or human version of it.
human, sure.
Oh, very human. Yeah.
So if we're judging wrestling based on, I don't know. That's the thing. When people say this is good, this is bad, this is terrible, this is awesome, what's their criteria? Really? What are you basing it? Are you basing it on
Uh,
just the moves?
yeah,
Are you
but
basing it on the
there's
business
no
of it?
criteria or formula that fits to everybody.
That's the
Like you
problem.
said, but it exposed who's watching, who's
Yes,
saying things.
sure. It
Yeah,
exposed
yeah.
who actually stuck with it, and you can tell when somebody watched something and fully absorbed it and they had, I have this opinion on this because A, B, and C, and I go, okay, maybe I don't agree with it, but I get what you're saying and where you're coming from. And then there's just the people that like to do the game, say they like to just go, stupid, bad, Ibushi sucks, he's stupid, or nothing even really intelligent, or even worth
Actually,
like,
it was I mean, one of the first match that I actually enjoyed, Ibushi's match.
hmm,
You know? Yeah, because for instance, Ibushi Kenny Omega super match, right?
mhm,
But it wasn't my cup of tea,
sure,
ever. So I mean, good moves, the fatigue, 30 minute, 40 minute, sometimes 45 minute, that nonstop this and that. But that's not the wrestling I grew up watching and enjoy as a storytelling. It's just like going to different, what do you call it, like pages of game. Like you clear
mhm,
certain stage, you beat some guys, and you go clear another page, and it's like going another page phase.
mhm.
And that was about it. It wasn't my wrestling. I mean, that's how I look at it. But the 44-year-old Marufuji taking up on 41-year-old Ibushi. Now it's like, let's see what they can do. And they really showed us what they are there, where they are today. Yeah. So human. And evidently that the Keiji Muto on color commentary was feeling the same thing. Oh, these two are the epitome of the outrageous stuff. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Right at the beginning. Yeah. I think these two created the style. And so it's like, right. But that's not what they were doing that night.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was 2009, 2010. It was a while ago. It was over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think that one of the it's almost criminal that we're not talking about Marufuji enough in this match, because I imagine if this was a match with Ibushi and another wrestler, I don't imagine it would have. I imagine it would have played out a lot differently. And if you go back and you watch it and just pay attention to Marufuji, they call him a genius because he knows where to be at every single moment that he needs to be. He has presence of mind to know where he needs to be, what he
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah.
do. It's very, you could tell pro wrestling is in his like blood or the DNA almost. I think he, without saying exactly what happened in the match, go watch him and watch how he preserved the match and really
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody, that's the thing, everybody's Ibushi couldn't do a moonsault, he had two broken ankles. Okay, well, Marufuji was, of course, brilliant. I think we're going to talk about this in a year or a couple of years from now. We're going to look at it differently.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
There was a lot of heat, not in the wrestling heat. I mean, like a lot of, like, people were very hot that week, and I saw the numbers. I mean, the interest in Noah in that match was very hot that week, but then it came down. People settled down. People got their bearings, and they either changed their opinion, they stopped talking about it, they moved on, or give it a year, give it 5 years, and go watch it and see if you have the same opinion.
If these same fans are still around.
Exactly. And often
5
they're
years
not.
from now.
Often they
Yeah,
forgot
you know what I'm
everything.
saying? Yeah, I kind of say, well, God, I'm not sure if they can wait another five. I mean, they'll be around another 5 years constantly watching wrestling. Are they even a wrestling fan? Are they a trending type of like what's so cool and then watch wrestling? It's wrestling fans are different creatures, right?
Hmm.
So yeah. But the Marufuji, it was actually Marufuji match.
It was celebrating his
Marufuji
25th
match. Yeah,
anniversary
yeah,
debut.
yeah. And also he's more Mr. Noah than anybody.
Of course, he is
Yeah,
Mr. Noah.
he is Mr. Noah
Absolutely.
from Misawa Kobashi's day into this or dark period of pro wrestling, into all the new guys coming in, or he's still there. You know what I'm
He's like
saying?
John Cena or Tanahashi.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
Marufuji
pretty much
is
so. Yeah,
he's
Marufuji is Noah.
he's like the captain of the
Yeah,
team.
I
He's
think so. I think
Yeah.
so. And also, he was the chosen one from Misawa himself.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
this
he's
guy will be.
also
Yeah,
he was chosen from Misawa, and he's the
yeah,
one
yeah.
who got Muto to come over.
To come over, yeah, because same. I mean, like Muto and Misawa never met in single match in their time, but for Marufuji's mind, what they needed for Pro Wrestling Noah that year, please, Mr. Keiji Muto, come over here and join the just whole this Pro Wrestling Noah formula. And
Hmm.
Muto did it.
He did it
And
Muto's
also, yeah,
way. It was Muto era. It was
yeah, yeah. Well, also Misawa and Muto were the two, distinctive superstar in the 90s into 2000, but they never met. And then Misawa's gone. I'm sorry. The Marufuji looked at Muto and said, he's available.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm.
And Muto should be in this cluster and finish his legendary wrestling career in pro wrestling no ring. And that's exactly what Muto did. Yeah. And yeah, the Marufuji basically orchestrated the whole thing.
Mm.
Yeah. So in and out of ring. Yes. So
Very
very important.
important. Yeah,
Very important.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So and also what was interesting was that this we were talking about, yeah, we've been talking about this, the Ibushi Marufuji match, but it was a main event, non-title match, but actual GHC title match was a match before that. And
Hmm.
champion Ken-O against Manabu Soya, and on paper, Ken-O against Manabu Soya GHC title match. Huh. Right? Then they gave best match of their, well, especially
Oh,
Ken-O's been good. He's been good, but Manabu Soya's best match in his career, though.
Definitely,
basically.
definitely.
Yeah.
His whole year, 2023 has been the best year of his career. He's had his
Hmm.
best match. He had a
But now
great
that
match.
it was hard for people to pay attention to him, though.
Yes. Yeah, because
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
been around for a
As good as
long
he
time.
is.
He's
Yeah.
he's he's like someone like a Tomohiro Ishii in that he's been around. I used to watch him a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, and also
F-
legitimate wrestling background and
Mhm.
everything. Just that people are not paying attention. Like he's like a Mark Henry or somebody.
Sure, yeah,
You
yeah.
know
I
what I'm
always
saying?
used to
Yeah,
see him with Omori in All Japan.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
Wild, where they wore the
yeah,
bearskin
yeah. That too. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah. Because
uh,
he was tag team partner of somebody.
Takawa Omori.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like somebody meaning that he wasn't the
Oh,
main guy.
somebody. Yes, he was the
Yeah,
second. He was the younger guy.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
Omori's team. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So he
he had
was
the
always
long
like that.
hair.
Yeah, and then also he came to pro wrestling Noah with other guys.
Hmm, hmm,
He wasn't it, but
hmm,
all along he's been here, and he just this was pretty much Manabu Soya's night that
hmm.
people actually believed him that this guy is a single title match caliber guy, and probably the one of the strongest powerhouse type wrestler in Japan now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
very athletic. He did a tope in the
Oh,
match.
a real
I
heavy
lost
top.
my brain. Oh my god! It was
Yeah,
such a.
yeah.
He's very dramatic in his wrestling. He's very explosive. He apparently he
So
can fly too. Yeah,
then
wonderful.
wrestler can change
Mm.
overnight. I'm talking about people's perception can change
Yeah. Oh
overnight.
yeah.
So that was a night that people say, "Oh wow, this guy is a main event guy." And
Absolutely.
KO, he's been real good. He's been
Yeah.
real good. I mean, size, pretty. I mean, lot smaller than your traditional heavyweight champions.
Mm.
Like compared to Misawa or Kobashi or Muto for that matter. Chono Hashimoto. It's like he's not really tall, but he, I mean, he's so focused,
But
and
he does.
he carry himself. He carries himself as superstar.
He has the presence, and he also has what the other guys didn't have. What he lacks in size. He has a legitimate martial arts background, a very
Yeah,
successful one.
Nippon Kempo national
Hmm.
champion.
He
Yeah.
was like the youngest champion at the time. I don't know if it's still that he
Mhm.
holds that record, but
Probably people are not so familiar with, I mean, the listeners out there.
mm,
Nippon Kempo is
Nippon
like your
Kempo.
Japanese style karate boxing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Japanese MMA or something like.
Yeah, yeah, but
There's like
no
a
submission. It's like a kicking and
this
punching with dogi.
you kicking and punching, and you wear the face
The
mask
headgear. Yeah,
and
right, right.
headgear, chest gear, and yeah, it's much like boxing, but there is a lot of a grappling esque kind of skill, like yeah,
Mhm.
standing arm locks, or but
Yeah,
like
standing.
like a
Um,
judo style, like you use it to put them knock them out, and karate
yeah,
too, like
yeah.
sweeps
So
and such.
he was a Nippon Kempo national champion in high school. The Ken O obviously is ring name. Ken Fist. O
Fist.
is King.
Hmm,
King of Fist.
hmm.
That's his ring name from day one. But he was discovered by Jinsei Shinzaki. He's from from Tokushima. Yeah, Hakushi
Mm.
in America. He was discovered by him, and he's from same hometown, Tokushima. Someplace else. Meaning that the excursion, you would think you were sent to Mexico somewhere, right?
Hmm.
Instead, he was sent to Okinawa. Actually, seriously.
Yeah, it's
Ok-
not where you usually go for an excursion. Some people would think that's a vacation.
yeah, but there was a place in Okinawa at the time, Okinawa Pro Wrestling. It runs show every night, with Super Dolphin.
Yeah.
And he had a mask on as a rookie and spent 1 year over there and had over 300 matches before he came back to Michinoku Pro Wrestling. Where was he the whole year? He was gone, and he had a mask on. He was playing somebody else down in Okinawa and had a 300 matches or so under his belt. Then came back like a very seasoned guy. He's ready to go. And he and uh, the, the Fujita Junior Hayato
Mm.
was a big rival for Michinoku's Tohoku title. Yeah. Then he asked that the Kenho asked Shinzaki, he's like, I would like to go Noah. Then he set the thing up and said, okay, I'll arrange that you'll be working Noah. And he's been doing that Noah thing ever since. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
and
a real good thing.
Shinzaki gave him that name, Kano.
Yeah, KO, and then also opportunity to actually go to Tokyo and work with Pro Wrestling Noah. And after you join Noah, you're on your own. Then Congo and all these things. Yeah, yeah. So
And
he
Shinzaki has been showing up every now and then in the Pro Wrestling Noah matches. He was there just in December.
oh,
Him,
okay, as a guest appearance,
him
but
and
it was like
Fujinami, they had the dream match
okay, okay.
I think that was in Yokohama. Yeah, it was Kano
Mm, mm.
and Shinzaki versus Soya and Fujinami, and
Right.
kind of preview of the match that just happened this month.
Because of the Shinzaki's character and KO's character, he wouldn't be doing much of a mic, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, KO does mic, but it's all in his KO character that he doesn't do anything else. So he wouldn't be talking about his own, real background that much,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I believe he really is a good Noah GHC champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning. He's going to have a match in a couple weeks against Dr. Wagner Jr. in
All right,
Sendai.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's very interesting that the whole week, the beginning of this January, it's been 3 weeks since that the
It's crazy. It's flying by.
yeah yeah Ibushi Marufuji match, but the end of the year into New Year's into the Tokyo, New Japan, Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom to Pro Wrestling Noah's Ariake Arena card, and then New Japan's New Year Dash thing, and it's like wow, it's like January, a lot of things already happened. Yeah.